Hello there! Since the reason that I do YouTube in the first place is that I'm very interested in film and all of that, I wanted to share with you some thoughts of me, what I like about movies and whatnot, and I thought the movie tag would be great for that. The first question is, what's your favorite movie of all time? And I would say, since I love this movie as a kid already, besides the Lord of the Rings saga, The Fifth Element. I liked that it had such a strong female character in it as a kid already, and I always wanted to be Lilu, like this superior being. The favorite scene from that movie, that's the second question, is the diva dance and fighting scene, because besides movies I'm also interested in singing, and I always found it fascinating how this singing interacted with this fighting scene, and that was really great, I think. So my favorite actor is Helena Bonham Carter. I think although she always plays these kind of villainous characters, except for the new Cinderella movie where she plays a good character, that's not a big character. That's not a big character, so whatever. Besides that, I thought Bellatrix Lestrange in the Harry Potter movies, which was such a cool character, and I think she was even a better villain than Voldemort himself, because Voldemort always seemed a bit clumsy and strange to me, already from the way he always held his wand. Like, it always looked to me like something like this, which is so... No, you can stay away with that from me. And I thought Bellatrix Lestrange was a very cool character in its own. So the most annoying actor in my eyes is, and I had to think about this a very long time because there are not so many actors that I really find that annoying, but I think Jaden Smith is a pretty annoying actor. Alright, question number 5. In my eyes, the best director, that would either be Christopher Nolan or Tim Burton, but I must say that I actually like every project that Tim Burton has ever worked on, while some of the projects of Christopher Nolan are kind of strange to me, so I don't like them as much as the movies of Tim Burton. But I even watched older films by Tim Burton. I think also some short films by him, and I have several movies in my collection on DVD from him, and I love them. I love all of them. My favorite guilty pleasure film, which is a tough one, Tomb Raider. I know almost everyone I know hated this movie. My favorite tear-jerker movie is definitely Armageddon, with Ben Affleck and Liv Taylor and Bruce Willis, and the most tear-jerking scene of that movie is definitely the end scene. I'm always crying in that scene because that song by Aerosmith is playing, and Liv Taylor is wearing her wedding dress, and she's walking up to the altar, and then they are getting married and they are happy, but still this wedding is still overshadowed by the death of all these astronauts that just died to save the world, and especially that Ben Affleck's character survived that. that was because of her father, and I found that so moving, and especially that there were pictures of the dead astronauts on the side in the same church. That really made me cry. So the next question is for a character from a movie that scared me, and that would definitely be Pennywise the Dancing Clown from It by Stephen King. I don't know which version that was. I watched it on YouTube and that was kind of strange. But still, ever since that, I have a raging coulrophobia. I'm so goddamn afraid of clowns. I also have kind of what you could call arachnophobia, but I still would play with some spiders, but I don't ever keep my eyes on clowns. Never ever. A movie that I love and everyone else hates? Well, from my surroundings, except for like one person, she would love to watch Sweeney Todd with me, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, with Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter, and also directed by Tim Burton, and great. Movie that I hate that everyone else loves. High School Musical. All of them. All these Disney movies that are not fairy tales and have no magic in them. That's the definition of a Disney movie that I will not like. My favorite movie duo. I couldn't really get what this was supposed to mean to characters from a movie or to actors that would be great together in a movie. For two characters from a movie, I would say Alice and the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland, Tim Burton. Like you can see, I'm a very big Tim Burton fan. And the other couple that, no, they're not really a couple, but the other two actors that are good together in movies, I think, who work greatly beside each other are Helena Bonham Carter and Johnny Depp. My favorite animated movie. I'm not going for a CGI movie here. If it should be a CGI movie, I would definitely say Disney Pixar's Brave. But for other movies, I would say Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. I watched this movie over and over again. It's one of the movies that I even watched not in my native language, but in the original version. And it was great in both cases. And I think that was the first movie that I ever watched where I definitely wanted to watch the original version besides the synchronization in German, and it was awesome in both cases. Actor crush. An actor crush that I have, like I said in my Darkling tag, I don't really have crushes in a romantic or sexual way. I admire talent. He got mad at me and told me that it was stupid of me to listen to older bands, old school bands, and said that was bullshit, and that moment was actually the moment where I didn't want to be friends with him anymore. So in a band, that wouldn't have worked. Kind of like it didn't work with Dave Mustaine and Metallica. So actor crush, Eddie Redmayne. I think he's so talented. I mean, from what I remember, he was awesome in The Name of the Rose, which was the first movie that I ever saw him in, and some other movies as well. Les Miserables, awesome character, awesome acting work. I really love the way he acts. It's awesome. My favorite movie villain. This is a surprising one because I never watched the original movie that she ever appeared in, but my favorite movie villain will always, I think, always be Maleficent from the Maleficent movie, because Angelina Jolie, but more rather because I loved her costume, and I liked the way that in Maleficent there was shown that she was more of taking revenge than was really being villainous, and how she tried to take back that curse but she couldn't, and yeah. Also, I was also crying during that movie. For the next pick, there is also Maleficent on my list, because it was a surprising movie for me. I watched that movie because my friends had watched it already and they were always talking about it, and after they stopped talking about it, which was stupid because I wanted to talk to them after I watched that movie then, I love Maleficent. It's one of the best movies that I've ever encountered, I think, because the message behind it was so powerful. If there was only one movie that I could watch for the rest of my life, I would choose the movie Coraline. There is so much to think about it in. I recently watched many videos by the fangirl, and she made many videos about Coraline fan theories, and my memory is as good that I can follow these without watching the movie over and over again, but I still think there is so much to think about that I could watch this movie over and over again. The next one, a recommendation for someone, a movie recommendation, and for whom. I would say you could recommend the movie Black Death to any Game of Thrones fans. The movie is not that great in satisfying the viewer with what happens in the end, but I think for the actors it's still worth watching. If I could go back in time and marry an actor when they were my age, then if I didn't have my boyfriend, I would go back in time and marry Jensen Ackles when he was 18. If I could wish for a remake to be made, what movie would I choose? Someone would, goddamn it, remake the Witcher movie. You might say, Witcher? Isn't that a video game? Yes, it is, but in the first place it was a novel by a Polish writer, and there is a Polish movie to that. And I was so fascinated by the story, and I wanted to know how Ciri got into all of that, because from The Witcher 3, which is the game that I watched, you don't get to know that much about her backstory. You just get to know that she's kind of the daughter to Geralt and Yen, but still there is something deeper in it, and I really wanted to know the story, how they got in contact and what her actual father still has to do with her, and I thought the movie would be great for that. If I would die and could only watch one last movie, then I would watch, I think, Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, because that movie strays so far away from reality as I think it's ever possible for any movie, and it's empowering. I think shortly before I die, that would be a great movie to watch. So what's my favorite movie genre and a movie from that genre? And I would say my favorite movie genre is something between fantasy and horror. So you can see why Tim Burton's my favorite director, because he always has something right in the middle through that. My favorite movie from that genre would be Beetlejuice, I think. Because it also has this crazy thing that I like about Tim Burton and this stop motion thing, and still the way of real actors performing there. The last question in this tag is, what is the first movie that I can remember to have seen in theaters? And I think that was for my 12th birthday or something like that. The Deathly Hallows Part 1 movie. I hope you like this tag. For some things you might want to comment on them. Do that if you please. And if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more video game related stuff, makeup related stuff, and all of that kind of stuff, family related stuff, follow my social media. They are linked in the description box. And also you can see my names in the end card. Also, watch my other videos, subscribe to my channel, and maybe I'll see you next week where there will be a new one. Have a nice day or evening or whatever time of the day it is, and goodbye.